Hello and welcome to the Lime Tree Sessions podcast with me, Jack Milcreast.
Brendan Philscope.
And Scott Shaw.
It's not fucking karaoke. You're Jeremy because you're tall. I'm Richard because I keep crashing my car. Touch wood.
It'll be fine.
My back really hurts from carrying this podcast all the time. We're on episode 5 already, and you may be wondering, why does that intro sound a little bit different? Well, it's because we've been copyright claimed on YouTube, even though it's a royalty-free piece of music. So we've decided to change it to an upcoming number that will be on my EP in September that we all co-wrote together. So we thought, we own the song, we'll use that. It's great.
It also sounds really cool for it, doesn't it?
Well, when we did that section with the ooze, I always thought that would be great for a theme tune or something like. So it's kind of cool, right? Theme tune, sing a theme tune. So, but yes, how has your week been?
Week's been good. I feel like I say that every time. I reckon we could take lots of snapshots of me saying week's been good.
Week's been good
every time. But we have had a busy week.
You've been really busy. Actually.
Yeah, I am knackered.
Yeah, Scott woke up this morning and said he couldn't move.
Yeah,
my muscles are all locked.
You were really, really busy, and on like the hottest week of the year so far, and it's just
We were where we Friday? Scunthorpe.
Yes.
That was quite warm. And then Saturday was very warm. We had 2 gigs that day. We were playing Washington Live in the afternoon.
Yes, which was really good, to be fair.
It was really good.
It was worth it.
Where is Washington Live?
I know it's Northumbria Centre, isn't it?
Yes.
Northumbria Centre.
Okay, right, okay.
It is
But
good.
it was really good. Yeah, it was the Scandals gig. Do you know the Scandals?
Is that a band?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't know who it is.
They're like a cover band, sort of similar vein as what we do.
Yeah, they do more indie stuff though.
Yeah. They sort of do old stuff like we do and newer stuff as well. But it was a really good gig. It was just very warm.
It was very warm.
We were stuck in a tent in the sweltering heat with just fans, which were just sort of blowing warm air.
Well, you've got lots
face.
of people who like to support you, lots of fans.
Oh, yes. They weren't blowing air into our face.
Thank God.
Thank God. But it was a good gig. And then we were
at Clover and Wolf in South Shields in the evening.
That was a good gig.
That was also, it was packed, wasn't it? Because the last time I went there, it wasn't that busy at all. And I thought, it's going to be the same sort of thing. But no, it was like the manager who works there. He was saying like you'll set up and there'll not be many people there, and then all of a sudden just come
appear,
float in sort of thing. But it was really busy, but it was a wicked night.
I recognise the name. I don't think I've been there though.
Clover. They've got a room upstairs which is more like a club. Which we've played up there before, which we actually prefer. But we were downstairs in the bar area. It's a bit
it was still good
space,
though.
But it's a good gig.
A good crowd. The manager's great as well.
He is. He's smashing.
He's really cool. But that was really. I was white. My coat was dripping by the end of it. But
and because you guys wear a certain style of clothes when you play, because you're 60s inspired.
Yes.
I imagine that was difficult,
Yeah,
it gets warm.
Especially for the 2 lads at the front who wear like paisley suits and all that kind of stuff.
It's not very forgiving clothing, is it?
No,
not
especially on Sunday. We did Killie Fest at the station in Killingworth on Sunday.
Oh yes,
and that was very warm. Okay for Scott.
Yeah, I had a gazebo.
He had a gazebo over the
in
drums,
shade.
obviously. But us 3 across the front.
You in particular, though, Lyndon, you were right stuck out right in the sun. He came in today, he's got a bright red forehead and nose.
Slightly red.
Yeah.
It was very warm. And there was a drone, which was the coolest
There was
thing.
a drone, yes.
Really?
I looked up at one point and it was sort of 8 foot away from us.
Right.
Just there. I was
Were you
just
smiling at it?
staring at it.
What was it like, videoing, or was it like?
This guy who came is he said he puts it on Facebook and stuff. And
Oh, mint.
I'm pretty sure they did that last year as well, like the station Facebook, they had it up on that. Just to
yeah,
sort of
I didn't see it last time.
Like showcase what the weekend was
Do you know
all
what? Now
about.
that you mention it, I had a look on their Facebook page and there's pictures.
High up.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
So,
drone.
That makes sense.
There will be video somewhere of me just staring into the lens.
Do you know, I just assumed that there was like a tall building next door. I don't know why. Like, it's obviously a drone. Yeah.
But no, good gigging weekend.
It was
Yourself?
I had quite a chill weekend, to be fair.
Nice.
But I had a gig on Saturday at the Northumberland Arms in Bedlington. It's a lovely pub. Do you know, it was weird because obviously the weather has just been glorious, absolutely tropical here. And it was weird because, I walked into the pub and this pub is like, I've never seen it quiet. I've never seen it empty. It's just always like wall to wall rammed, right? I walk in and it's just this staff on the bar and I'm like, this is weird. Like, this is like very strange for this bar. And I was talking to a lady called Fee who is behind the bar, and she's great, right? She's from South Africa, so everything she says,
nice.
everything she says is like, you can't. So I was talking to her and she was like, well, this is my South African
Yeah, have a go.
accent. Like, she was like, well, we'll give us a half past. And I was like, all right, okay.
Is that
we'll do it."
Irish?
I can't do accents. I can't do accents at all. It's like, when people try and do Geordie and they sound Indian.
Yes.
Oh, God,
I just can't do any.
That's the
accent.
funniest thing in the world.
But anyway, we'll said, all right, we'll give it a half past. And then I'm not joking you, at 9:15, all of Bedlington walked into the pub. Like
Same sort of thing, yeah,
all
that
of
we
Bedlington.
had.
It was ridiculous. And then because when I set up, you kind of put in this like little corner where there's like a seat, and usually I literally just take a speaker, a desk, my guitar, and a mic stand, and just very minimal, does
Yeah.
the job sort of thing. Because when you have speakers on stands and there's lots of people in a confined space,
Oh, God, aye.
you're scared in case it gets knocked over, damaged, liable, all that kind of stuff.
Been there.
Although we're all covered
Been
by
there, done that.
we're all covered by the musicians union, so we're all good.
We're not.
No, we're not.
Don't say that. You can't say that on.
No, we have liability insurance.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, well, that's all you need. Fair enough. I'm covered. So anyway, so I'd set up like a really minimal setup, thinking like I probably could have put my speaker on a stand. There's no one here. And then when all of Bedlington came in, I was like, thank God I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't.
So, and it was good. There was a guy came up to us halfway through and he went, mate, can I have a go? I was like,
Oh, God.
no, sorry, no. And he went, what, not at all? And I went, no, sorry. Because if you let one,
Well,
it's
exactly.
one of those
Yeah,
things.
you open the floodgates, really, don't
Yeah,
you?
I've seen it happen before. I've seen it go downhill. I've seen people kick off. It's just not fun. Anyway, I told Fee about it, and just said in a South African accent, he asked me before as well, and I said no, and I was like, all right, okay, and she said it's not fucking karaoke, and I was like, all right,
Which is
So-
right, just right. aye.
Yeah,
You
I
should
mean,
get that on a sign.
it's not fucking karaoke. Yes,
Just put up in front of you, like, some people put like their
Yeah.
social media links and stuff. This is not karaoke.
it'd be like me name and me, and then right at the bottom, it's not fucking karaoke. That'd be
Stream
great.
trying.
Stream trying right now. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, it was a good gig. It's always good in there, and it's really lovely as well because I've been asked to play Fee's son's wedding, which is
Oh,
lovely.
lovely.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that.
You get a lot of wedding gigs, don't you?
It's they're the nice gigs.
I was gonna say yeah, definitely.
It's like we've talked about this before. Not on here, but like just in our own spare time. That when you do those nicer gigs that are the weddings and the parties and that kind of stuff, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's better money for a start, but just overall, it's a much nicer experience because usually it's very civilized. People are there for the music, and there's that whole thing to be said. I mean, when you're in a pub, maybe 10% of the people there are listening, sort of thing, if
Yeah.
you're lucky, and then there's always. When alcohol is involved, there's always people like, you
Yes.
get what I'm trying to say. So
It's sort of like a wedding you've been invited to as a guest. As a pub, you're in their domain.
exactly, yeah.
So it's like people might not want you there, whereas a wedding is sort of respect. The bride and groom have asked them to be here. That's
Aye,
fair
definitely.
enough. So there's a bit more
Absolutely, yeah.
respect
Yeah.
there. As a
That-
pub, it's sort of that's it.
Yeah.
Anything's a go in a pub.
I think you're right. I mean, at a wedding you get fed. You get like a guest, like you say, apart
Yeah.
from that you're providing a service, doing the music or whatever. And yeah, the best gigs I've done probably are the wedding ones, at least for cover gigs, at least. So I'm very much looking forward to doing their wedding. It'll be lovely. So
Oh, nice.
that's back end of the summer, so that'll be nice. So I got to meet them both last night as well, on Saturday night is what I'm saying as well. So like they came along to kind of like
Check
see-
you out.
Yeah,
Aye,
check
check
us
you
out.
out.
Yeah, try before you
So
buy.
have we got the right bloke to do the
Yeah.
job, sort of thing? Aye.
They've decided yes. So that's
Oh, there
good.
you go.
A good
Good well.
endorsement there,
yes,
isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah. so
Excellent.
so that's that was my weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, it's time for. What are you listening to? So, what have we been listening to this week?
What have I been listening to? Oh, I've been listening to a bloke called The Tallest Man on Earth. I say a bloke. It's under
He's over there.
a name called The Tallest Man on Earth, but it's this bloke that writes the songs. I think he's Dutch. I'll probably get that.
The bloke that writes the
completely
songs is
wrong.
Barry Manilow.
No, but
The Dutch are the tallest race.
Oh,
That
on
is
Earth,
true.
So.
I could be completely
Well,
wrong.
they are the highest race. It is true.
Anyway, there's a particular song called Stranger, and it's such a. I remember listening to it a lot when I was in Liverpool. Like it reminds us of being out on my runs and stuff.
Okay.
And I was just flicking through my playlist and stuff. I was, I remember that song, sort of thing. And I've just been listening on repeat.
It's
really
amazing
good,
how
like-
songs can have like relation memory to
That's it.
a
isn't
time.
It? Yeah.
I think that's what. To be fair, that's probably what's really special about a lot of people's songs. Where like we were just talking about weddings. People could say like, "Oh, I remember this song because it was our first dance," or it was the song that was playing when you asked me out, or something like that.
A connection.
It has a real connotation to all life, I suppose. Like from life to death, songs can have a meaning.
Jesus, there's a title.
I know I've already talked about death. Oh, what's going on?
He's actually Swedish. I got it
Okay.
wrong. Yes, sorry, I got that wrong. But
We've really got to fact check ourselves
I
before
know.
we do
but
this.
yeah, I'm a stranger now. It's a wicked tune.
And what's his name? The tallest man.
The tallest man on earth?
I see.
And he's actually quite short, funny enough. Yeah,
That level of irony.
Yeah,
I know.
That
So there you go.
should be my band name.
The shortest man on earth.
Well, no,
you'd have to say it.
because then I'd have to be tall. It would be like it would be irony if it was the tallest man.
You could have a band name called Buzzcut. And you've got the nice long hair.
I could do that. Yeah.
So, what about yous?
So I went to go see. This hasn't. No, yes, I'm right. Sorry, I'm trying to get my timeline mixed up. We record these episodes like way in advance, so like it's just difficult for me to remember where we are.
This is the past.
Yeah, it's like where we are in the timeline. Because so I went to go see the Elvis movie,
Oh, yes, Sam.
and it was very good, very long. I have to admit, long movie, very montagey as well.
You were
But
saying.
I've been listening to lots of Elvis because I didn't realize. I know he didn't necessarily write all these songs, but like, man, he's got some good songs.
Oh yes.
Like,
No,
I know they're all like bluesy and rockabilly, but it's great. It's just like he's got some absolute tunes, and I haven't really delved into like a specific album, but I mean, I've just really been listening to the gold hits.
Did you find any songs that you hadn't heard before by Elvis that you like?
Yes, but you've put me on the spot, and I can't think what they are. But yeah, there's probably loads on that compilation, but it's great. Like I knew like all the obvious ones, and to be fair, they're probably. I mean, my favorite. I know it's probably everyone's favorite, but is "Can't Help Falling in Love with You."
It's a good song.
Because there is a version of it on the Sons of Anarchy soundtrack that's really nice. It's like I think it's like a fast kind of version, and it's kind of like a band kind of thing. It's really good.
Nice.
But yeah, like in the movie as well, like I don't know, he just seemed like I guess outside looking in, I'd never delved into like who he was, or even as a musician. Like I didn't realize how good he was. Is that fair to say? Like I guess I never considered that. Maybe I don't know. Like talented guy, like really
Yeah.
good, very talented. So yeah, I've been listening to lots of Elvis, but then I did have on, because we were talking about it on a previous podcast, I had the Stranger Things soundtrack on the other day.
Oh, yes.
Which was really cool, and I forgot that at the beginning it has that Who song.
Is it?
Out here in the field.
Oh, Bob O'Reilly.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? I thought it was
Baba
Baba.
O'Reilly.
Is it Baba or Barbara?
Baba O'Reilly.
Baba
Yeah,
O'Reilly,
sorry.
yeah.
They had that, but it's like a different
It is, yeah.
version cause for the show. So
That's my
what
favourite Who song, that.
It's one of
It
my.
is good.
It's
yeah.
my favourite.
Definitely. It's up there. I think because it's not like a traditional.
I like Who Are You as well, though.
Yeah,
That's true.
but the thing is, did you ever used to watch CSI?
No,
So that was the theme tune for CSI.
it was.
right?
I knew that. Yeah.
And like because of the edit they do it, it's just like the chorus.
yes.
With the the big bit at the end with the the crescendo at the end. I never knew what the verses were until I listened to that song. I was like, what the hell? Like this is crazy.
Isn't it goes into halftime, the verses? It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool how
It's cool, but when I used to watch CSI and thinking that was the theme tune, I was like, oh, that's really cool. So then like
you
listening
were
to
hoping for a bit more on the verses sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, I think the verses are really cool. Who are you, to be fair?
Do you know, I find that a lot with, and we said we weren't going to make this a long episode, but we've went off on a tangent here. I find that with a lot of Who music, that like, the bits that you hear on telly, radio, or adverts, or pop culture, whatever, it sounds great and it's a mint. When you hear the actual song and there's the verse that you don't hear or whatever, I actually do find it a little bit underwhelming.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? It's great, and I love The Who. I've seen them twice, and they were brilliant. But I do find myself going, "Oh, just play the chorus," Just, like the only album I think that I could listen to all the way through, and like all the segments, is Quadrophenia.
Okay. Yeah.
But I actually really like that as an album. Like I wouldn't listen to one song; I'd listen to the full thing. But then, like, I never got Tommy.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tommy.
Never really got that. Like that's too out there for me, I think. And then because Pinball Wizard was the hit off that, and that's great on its own. And
it
then,
is.
like,
Yeah, it is.
and then the rest of it, I'm like, I'm okay for it. I
So
think.
take or leave it.
Yeah, I like songs verse, chorus,
see what you
verse,
mean, yeah,
chorus,
yeah.
middle eight, big chorus. You know, that's
Double
the-
chorus end.
Don't bore us. Get to the chorus. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
What have you been listening to, Lyndon?
Well, mine has a Stranger Things link as well.
All right.
I've been listening to Frontiers by Journey
Nice.
because I'm now.
Oh,
I
yes.
agree with Scott. That's Separate Ways is now my favourite Journey song.
Yeah.
It's definitely
I
mine,
listened to
yes.
it last night in bed as well, and it was like,
All right.
oh my god,
It's immaculate album, isn't it?
it's a great album.
Immaculate.
One of the Young as well is like a great song.
They've had like 3 different singers, haven't they? Because he wasn't the
Do you know
original.
what? I found this because I was looking at I think I had a new album out on the 8th of July.
Yeah,
What?
Journey.
Literally just gone.
Yeah,
Really?
on the 8th of July.
I'll have to have a listen.
they've
It's,
got.
it's with their new singer. It's sort of, it is Journey instrumentally. The music is very
Yes.
sort of 80s influence. It's Journey, what you'd expect.
Aye.
It's just the vocal. It's not Steve Perry, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I think Steve Perry is my favourite singer of all time.
He's a very good singer.
That's
Honestly,
that's
do,
a
yeah.
statement.
That's
I
a
think he is.
statement.
I just love him.
Maybe not because he had an album out fairly recently, a few years ago.
Yes.
And he's not got
Yeah,
it
yeah, he
in
hasn't
him
got it anymore,
now
has he?
No.
to sing like what he used to. He's still a phenomenal singer, but he's sort of not what you'd expect from Steve Perry. You expect sort of,
Yeah.
higher notes than any possible human could sing, and he just can't do that anymore.
I saw
Or maybe
them-
he can. He didn't do it on the album, but
I mean, like a lot of singers.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
It's what happens,
it's-
isn't it, when you
it's-
get older?
Yeah, it's the
it's part of getting old.
and drugs.
Yeah,
But I
Yeah.
saw Journey with the new singer.
yeah. Is he
Uh,
good live?
I mean, this was like 10 years ago, but yeah, he was great. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not Steve Perry.
yes, I think
You've got to look at it like that, haven't you?
what I'm wanting to say is that I think he's very close. If you could,
He's a great singer.
if you
He's a
if
great
you
singer.
listen to him sing "Don't Stop Believing" live, eyes closed, I don't think you'd be able to know.
So would you say he's trying to be like Steve Perry, or like the sort of Queen thing where Adam Lambert is his own thing and he's not trying to be like Freddie? What do you reckon?
No, I don't think he's trying to be like Steve Perry. He does sound like him, I think, like when he was singing
Right.
the old Journey stuff. I mean, they only did the hits when I saw them, and he's got a great voice. He does sound like him.
Do you think it's like it could be the sort of thing that obviously he probably grew up listening to Journey as well?
That's a
Yes.
point.
Do you not think he's just like heard Journey stuff, so he sings those songs a bit like what Steve would sing them?
That's a point, you know.
And all the newer
Probably.
stuff, he's just himself because he's not got nothing to reference. Like when he's singing
Yeah.
"Don't Stop Believing," you were saying, if you close your eyes, it
Yeah.
sounds like it could be because I think if any of us sing "Don't Stop Believing," you sort of try to sing it like Steve Perry because that's what you hear in your head, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think his range is as good as Steve Perry back in the day.
Yeah.
And his timbre is definitely similar. And he's in Journey, so it's like he's obviously going to tailor it that way, isn't
Yeah.
he? So
And the band will have scouted someone who can do what Steve did as well.
I don't know the story, but I remember it being on the news because I think the tour we were going to see them on was like one of the first ones he did with the band. And again, fact check, I don't know. I'm sure he was scouted because of like I think it was like YouTube. And I
Okay.
think he was
Oh,
I
right,
think he was uploading videos of him singing Journey songs.
Right.
And they found him through that. I think we may want to check that. But it was something along the lines of they found him online. I know that. I
Alright.
know that's a fact. And yeah, that was kind of. But again, modern world and all that. You know, this is kind of what happens.
Yeah.
And when your front man doesn't want to be in the band anymore, and you need someone to replace that.
I know, it's a shame that he doesn't want to do it anymore, but
I mean, he obviously can't do it anymore. Like
No,
what you say with that
probably.
album, if he's
they'd have to take the keys down a
They'd
few,
all
I
got
imagine,
aye.
if they were going to
Yeah,
do
that was the thing when we saw them. It was all copy key. It was no
that,
because
that might be why then Steve Perry not doing it
probably
anymore.
because when I saw them, it was Whitesnake and Journey. So Whitesnake came on first. Now David Coverdale, he's a class act. He's
Yeah.
great. He can't sing the songs in the keys anymore.
Mhm.
All of them were dropped at least 2 tones easily, right? So like that's 4 steps down for people at home. Easily that. Which it gives like a really like heavy sound to it, which is kind of cool. I suppose it's maybe what they're going for, but it's definitely different, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. When Journey came on, he's singing "Don't Stop Believing" in E major. You know, that's it. You know, so
respect.
yeah, he's very good. It was one of my first ever gigs, that actually, which was kind of cool. It was Journey, Whitesnake, and Thunder, if you remember them.
When was that? How long ago was that?
I think it was 10 years ago, so 2012.
Wow.
Oh God.
Yeah, maybe 2013,
All right.
sometime. Right,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was definitely right because it came out on my phone the other day. I think it's 10 years though, at least 9. Anyway, you can look it up. So, but yeah, That is a good album as well. I do like that. Mind you, I never got into the Journey deep cuts. I only ever really listened
No,
to
I'm the same. The hits, really.
Yeah. I bet they've got some good deep cuts, but I've never really delved, I don't think. I was actually watching the Grand Tour the other night.
All right.
With the episode where they go to Detroit in the muscle cars.
Oh, yes.
And he made that. This is what made us think of it. He made that references to like muscle cars are like power ballads.
Yes.
You know, if Journey comes on when you're in the car with your mates, you're like, oh, I'll turn it off. But if you're in the car on your own, you're singing along.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, you got to.
We could be like the Grand Tour
That'll be mint.
because
Go on a road trip.
you're Jeremy because you're tall. I'm Richard because I keep crashing my car, and by process of elimination,
I'm James.
You're James.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I'll take that.
There we go. We're the Grand Tour. So for everyone who doesn't know, we're releasing an EP in September that we thought it would be really cool to do it on vinyl. Now, vinyl's expensive, but we launched it on Kickstarter to get it made, and we reached the pledge in a few days, but then it went over the amount, and the Kickstarter ended last week. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who pledged to the Kickstarter. It's just been absolutely incredible. We managed to exceed the goal, which is just crazy. And I think it's a decent achievement, I have to admit, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I just kind of wanted to just say thank you in the podcast, just because I know some of you's listen. And that was kind of it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Woo! Get in.
Okay, so tomorrow we're doing something really stressful and really cool that we're going to talk about on here. It won't be out by the time this podcast comes out, I don't think, because again, I'm struggling to think when this comes out and when the video's coming out. But we're filming a live version of Trying My Song tomorrow that we all co-wrote together. We're doing it in a cafe. My friend has a cafe in Chelsea Street called the Coffee Bank. Check it out. It does unbelievable hot chocolate. We could try tomorrow when we go there.
What a trying.
Trying, there you go.
Oh, get in.
Oh, God.
So we're going there to record a live version of the song. Now, if you haven't listened to the song already, please do. It's on all the major streaming platforms, and the music video is out on YouTube now. We've just released the blooper reel today,
Yeah, I saw that,
which was great. I watched it again this morning. Like it's just,
I did it a lot.
Great. It's great. But we're going to do it in a similar way where in the music video itself, it's a static shot for pretty much the whole thing, and then a few close-ups. So we're going to film it in a similar way, but we're all playing live, the four of us. Which we've had a rehearsal just before we started this podcast, and it went well. I think we're ready. Touch wood.
It'll be fine.
The setup. Yeah, I know. The setup will be the hard part, I think, because it's like, lots of gear in a.
No idea.
All the gear, no idea. What did you say the other day?
All the kit don't know shit.
All the kit don't know shit. Yeah, I like that. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be nice to just to kind of rock out and have a laugh and hopefully get something good. Huge thank you to Debbie from the Coffee Bank for letting us wreck your place of business. Bless her. I went to see her the other day and she said, yeah, that's absolutely no problem. So yeah, look out for that. It's coming out on the 29th of July. I think this podcast goes out the week before. So we'll probably mention it again on the next podcast or whatever. But keep a lookout, and we hope you enjoy it. So much to your chagrin, ladies and gentlemen, next week I'm going away. So I haven't actually asked you this, but are you going to do the podcast without us, or are you going to...
Oh, that's a point.
Because you're more than welcome to. It's not my
Could do.
domain.
Didn't even think about it, to be honest. I thought we'd just leave it.
It's up to you. The folks won't be disappointed if you don't carry it on.
That's true.
You're the main act of the podcast, don't you?
I am carrying it, but it's fine. Like
I don't know what we'd
He's
do without you.
carrying it hard.
No.
yeah, my back really hurts from carrying this podcast all the time. But it's up to you. You can if you want.
It'll be a surprise for everyone listening if there is one without Jack in it. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Could
what
get a
happens.
guest on.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You could get a guest in. You could get an actor and just have them pretend to be me.
We'll get Luke in.
Get Luke in, yeah. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, we'll put glasses on. No one will know who he is.
Exactly.
Well, there's no cameras, Lyndon, so it's just audio.
Damn.
You just have to sound like me. Do you know? You should
We'll give him a swazzle or something.
You should just you should sample loads
We'll
of.
get your dad in.
Yes.
He probably would, He could do it, I don't see why not. Hey, Dad, I know he listens. So, There you go. There's his invitation.
Yeah, no one would know.
Come on the podcast, Dad. It's you'll be here talking about Iron Maiden for an hour.
That's fine.
So, well, it's up to you. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear episode 6 next week, you'll know they've done one. But if not, then I'll be back in your ears in 2 weeks. And we'll have missed a week, basically, is what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I'm going to Amsterdam.
Ooh.
I nearly wasn't. Because
why?
Yeah.
so yesterday, our flight got cancelled coming back. Just randomly.
You could just live in Amsterdam.
You could do.
That's it.
I don't know.
Then there'd be no podcast ever again.
I know. How would you cope?
Although the height thing, you might not fit in.
That's a
I
point.
don't fit in here. Do you know what? The only place I'd fit in is if I went to China. Like, they're all short, aren't they? So, like, that's not being racist. That's just, like, genuinely, I don't know.
It's factually
I just like to caveat that by saying they are a small race.
They are, that is true.
It's not me being, just want to get that in there. Get those libels out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, sorry, what was I going to say? It got cancelled, yeah.
Yes, your flight got cancelled.
So we're coming back on an earlier flight. So we have to be at the airport really early instead. But, at least we're going, I suppose.
Yeah, you'll have a good time either way. So
Did I tell you? Did I mention it on here? No, I don't think I did. So I was telling people at my buskers night last week that I was going to Amsterdam because obviously I'm missing the next one, right? So I was telling them about it, and they went, Amsterdam, we know what you're going there for." And I was like, "What, to learn about Nazi era Germany?" Because to be fair, we are going to the Anne Frank Museum. And he went, "Oh no, that's not what I meant. I meant like the other thing, And I was like, "Oh no, that's not." So that was quite funny because they all assumed long-haired gay musician. "Oh, you can't there, the brown bars." That's what they call them. No, I've got no desire to do that to Broadsphere. No, I can't be arsed.
Fair enough.
But we are going to the Anne Frank Museum. I don't know if we're going to the Sex Museum or not. We haven't.
Because Sophie set the itinerary, hasn't she?
She set the itinerary. She said she's got a surprise planned.
It may well be that, mightn't it?
The Sex Museum.
Everyone goes, to be fair, now, don't they?
It'd be good for the vlog.
Get the photo next to the massive
vlog.
dick.
You'd have to blur it all.
Oh, I'm not monetized. It's fine. I don't mind. It would be good for the vlog.
Maybe she likes gardening. Maybe you're going to get some tulips.
I don't know how you get them back though. What are you doing? Carry on. Like, just hold
In
them.
your hands,
One of
yeah.
the carry-ons, just me on the plane.
Definitely.
There's me plant. Well, there are plants there, just not the plants that we're bothered
Yes.
about, Aye. So, but yeah, I'll be off for a week. So if you guys want to do the podcast, by all means, do the podcast. You'll be great.
We'll see.
It's up to you.
You have a good time anyway. So.
Yes.
I think it'll be good. I'll let you know. I'm sweating in this weather. I don't know what it'll be like over there. I think it'll be really, really hot, and I don't know if I can survive. This is the part of the podcast where Jack looks up random questions and asks them at the end, because this has been running for like almost every episode now. And to be fair, it's been a good laugh because
Yeah, it is a right laugh, isn't it?
none of it's scripted. I literally type in on the internet random questions, pick a website, and just go for it. So are we all ready, gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. If you had to be a Disney character, what would you be? Or who would you be, I should say?
Disney character. I don't know. I'm trying desperately to work out what's Disney and what's not.
So, man.
Pixar's allowed. Does that help?
Can be Buzz Lightyear. I'd have a cool name.
Yeah. I was going to say Woody, actually. Or Mike Wazowski. For Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Or Lightning McQueen. I'd love to be a car. Although,
Actually, yes.
no. I
No,
wouldn't be
you
a car.
shouldn't be a car.
I like the McQueen and I'm Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
I love Cars, me.
It's a good movie.
It is.
Didn't like the second or third. I thought-
Jeremy Clarkson plays the Formula One thingy, bus driver.
It's the agent.
Oh, is it
He
the agent?
plays the
On the
agent.
phone, aye.
Harv.
Harv, that's it.
Aye.
Sorry, I got that completely
Someone's
wrong.
got Disney Plus.
I hear I'm a big fan.
Which Hogwarts house are you?
I'd like to think Gryffindor.
I was going to say, did we watch Harry Potter?
No,
No.
I can't answer that question.
No. I always thought I'd be in Slytherin. I don't know why. I don't know. I'd like to be. Oh, have I told you about... Oh, segue and a half here. I've got to tell you
Yeah,
this.
again.
I've got to tell you this. So, I think I may have already mentioned this to you guys, but we'll talk about it just very quickly because it's just reminded us. So, I've been asked to do a wedding next year.
Uh-huh.
And she came to one of my gigs and she said, because I know her, she said, "Oh, I'd really like you to do my wedding. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And she said, is this date all right? Yeah, I'll book it in now. Oh, fabulous. And how much do you want? I said, this is how much I want. And everything was like sorted. And she went, by the way,
I know what you're going to say.
it's Harry Potter themed.
Yeah.
And we're all dressing up. And I was a bit like taken back, but then I was like, think of the photos, man. That would be great. But then I was trying to work out who I could be. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't really look like anybody in Harry Potter, and you know what I mean. So I didn't know who I could be.
You could go as Mad Eye Moody. You've got the hair. We'll get you an eye patch.
If I had an eye patch, big coat.
Big coat. Oh, best. I hope it's a hot day.
It's in April, so it's kind of like it's debatable because they're having it at Durham Castle, which is where they shot some of the first movie.
Lovely.
So it's quite cool that it all ties in together. So I to be fair, I think it'd be a good laugh.
It would be a good laugh.
I think I'm looking forward to it. Like, I think it would be good. That's a good one though. That's the only person I look like, really. So,
just the hair and everything else.
Just get an eye patch and a long coat. I'll be there. There you go. Can you imagine me on stage playing that?
That'd be so funny.
I should point out as well that they're getting someone else to play on the nighttime, a guy called Dan Reed, who we talked about on the first podcast, I think.
Did I?
Famous musician, really great guy, fabulous player and singer, and she's a big fan of his as well. And the plan is he's going to come over from where he lives. I think he lives in Spain or Portugal. I can't remember. And he's going to come over and do the nighttime do. And I asked her, I was like, does he know about this? And she went, well, not yet. No. And I was like, all right, okay. Now, to give you a bit of context here, he's bald. So I think he could be Voldemort.
Oh, God.
That's a show.
I think that's who he would be. He probably won't know that until he gets there.
Yes.
But there you go.
As they're dabbing him with white paint.
Aye. He rocks up in like
and
everyone.
a green dress.
Yeah. Aye. Here's your one, Danny. There you go. Right. If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing, what would it be?
Unlimited supply of something.
Yeah.
I mean, money's the obvious one, isn't it?
It can't be money, like a physical entity.
Guinness.
I instantly thought
Really?
of food.
I like Guinness.
Yeah, food's the sensible answer.
Chocolate.
I'm
Dairy milk chocolate.
That's another good answer. I'm going to go guitar picks.
Well, actually, as it currently stands, petrol.
That is a shout.
I could make a lot of money with an unlimited supply of petrol.
It's not for financial gain though. It's for your own consumption. But
Still.
petrol. Yeah. It's fair. What's your favourite beverage?
Alcoholic or non-alcoholic? Or can we do one of both?
One of both.
Okay, well, alcoholic would be Guinness.
Right.
Take over my lifetime supply of Guinness I'm going to get.
Yeah.
And non-alcoholic.
It's a good job you're liking it.
Coke? Copious amounts of Coca-Cola.
Soft drink would probably be Fanta. I love Fanta.
Yeah.
And alcoholic beverage, I would usually say like a record leg cider, like the berries one.
Yeah.
But I'm also really much liking the Schofferhofer grapefruit beer at the moment.
It's quite adventurous.
It's pretty cheap.
It's nice.
It is very
Grapefruit
nice.
beer.
Grapefruit beer, yeah.
So is it quite fruity?
Not that fruity,
No,
but there is. You can't taste it. It's really
right.
nice.
It
You'll
is
have to try
nice,
it.
That's interesting.
So there.
Alcoholic would be gin and tonic all day long. And non-alcoholic would be the lemon San Pellegrino. What's your favourite season? Mine is definitely not summer because I am sweating my tits off.
Spring or autumn.
Summer.
Yeah.
Sort of the temperature's sort of in between hot and cold on each of them, isn't it?
Do you know what I'd like in it
Spring
too?
and autumn.
Right. You know how the summer holidays is
Yeah.
like packed. However, just before the summer holidays and just afterwards, in between those times where you might like, I say might not be going back to work. You might, the kids are back, but it's still hot. Either side of the summer holidays. That's like the best weather because it's not quite summer and it's like it's just coming out of spring or just going into autumn. It's like it's warm, but it's not like excruciating. I like my favorite weather, to be fair though. Actually, I changed my answer. Is where I can wear a jacket and sunglasses.
All right.
So like it's like
Spring, I suppose.
kind of like spring or like the start of autumn. Probably start of autumn is probably a better answer. That question went on forever. I don't know why I did that. What's your favorite dessert?
Ooh, some sort of chocolate fudge cake or something. That'd be.
Yeah.
Chocolate eclair. I love an eclair.
Really?
Profiterole, yeah. I love it.
Do you know, I was totally thinking of like the little eclair sweets. That's what I
Oh, were
thought.
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
like
sorry.
the dairy milk eclair.
Yeah, that's
no,
why I
no,
was
just
like,
like a pastry.
dessert.
They're more
eclair.
bang for your buck than 90% air.
Yeah.
I just love chocolate eclairs. Like proper pastry one. Yeah.
I don't know, pastry and chocolate. I don't know.
I love it when you have
I
a
like
mixture.
a donut. That's not my answer though. My answer would be, in this moment, an eating mess.
Okay.
Oh, I love one of them right
I do love an eating
now. I'd
mess.
have one of them right now.
Sophie's got, well, we mentioned it before. Sophie's got an allotment, and she had like just a ridiculous amount of strawberries this year. So I've had like an eating mess like every day
Yeah.
for the past 2 weeks. It's been
Why
unreal.
not? It's summer.
Unreal. It's the best thing you've ever eaten in a restaurant. All food related, but
Best thing I've ever eaten in a restaurant.
yeah.
What was the kind of restaurant you going to? Had a nice pizza at Frankie and Benny's once.
Sorry. Scott.
I've not a clue.
No.
We don't
I
really
had
go
a
out nice places.
I had a nice vegetable teriyaki at a pub in Dinnington a couple of years back.
Oh, I'm going to sound like a right fucking snob when I say my answer, aren't I?
What's yours?
Steak at Miller and Carter.
I don't even know what that is.
That's
so.
You know what
that's the
steak
right
is?
answer.
I know what a steak is.
You know what
Miller and Carter?
Miller and Carter?
No.
The steakhouse.
Steakhouse.
There's one in Gosforth, just across from Peter Barrett's.
No.
It's like, do you
Anyway,
know what's
go on.
really funny about that particular one though?
What?
The new builds that are there.
Oh, I know.
They're
not finished yet.
their local is a Miller and Carter.
I know.
That's how expensive those houses
I
are.
know.
I'm really sorry that my answer sounded so.
It's an Ari answer.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's good. I can't pay but I, like, you know.
It's okay. All the staff know him there.
This is a good one to end on. I think this is an uplifting one to
Okay.
end on. Name a person who inspires you. Now, it could be anybody.
That's deep.
Yeah, if there's like
Come on,
Person
they've
that
got deep questions
inspires
today.
you.
yeah, or let's say, and you could answer just inspire, but maybe we'll change it to like musical inspiration, but not necessarily like.
Also, like inspires professionally.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay, should I give you my answer and then we'll?
Oh, yeah, go on then.
Good idea.
Okay, so this is a bit of a shout out. I think the person that I'm going to say two. The two people who inspired my musical career the most, who are actual people who I know, is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Subsequently, my mum as well, but mainly my dad, because he had a guitar when he was a kid, and when I started to play, he got his guitar out the loft and so forth. And he is pretty much the reason that I play guitar. And on the back of that, the second person who was probably the most influential was my guitar teacher, Mr. Steve Ray. If you're listening, hiya, Steve. I had lessons from him for 8 or 9 years, and know everything I know from him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird as well because obviously, like, you know, he was my teacher, but then like when I sort of got to a certain age where like it didn't have that teacher-student relationship. Now we're just really good
Just
friends.
aye.
And it's great. So there would be my two answers: my dad and my long-time guitar teacher.
Okay.
So that might inspire your answers. Am I your inspiration?
You've inspired this answer.
Yes.
Along the similar vein, then, if we're going to do that, like earliest memory of doing music would probably be my music teacher, if that was the case.
Yeah.
So Paul Wilson, shout out,
Yes.
he's a fantastic musician.
He certainly is.
He's probably the reason he's a fantastic piano player, like the best piano player I know by far, and he probably inspired me to get into piano. Although I did start on guitar,
Right.
back in year 7, many years ago. Many years ago. I'm so old. But guitar wasn't sort of my thing. And our music teacher was mainly a piano teacher.
Sure.
And he would show me sort of a few things. And I was picking it up fairly quickly.
Ah, man.
So he was like, "You're playing in the school shows." And I was like, "All right, I'm playing in the school shows."
Yes.
So then I started that, and then that was sort of it. I was hooked
Yeah.
from that. And I was just, he taught me as much as he could at my, young age. But
Yeah, yeah.
I owe him a lot for what I can do.
Yeah, yeah. Is he still around, still playing?
He's still, to my knowledge, obviously I'm not at school.
No.
I think he still teaches at the school I went to, but I couldn't say for certain. But
Okay.
but he still gigs with other bands.
Mint.
He was playing with is it D
Dowling.
D.
He was
Dowling,
playing with
yes.
him a few weeks ago. and he plays with Scott's music teacher
Yes, he does.
occasionally.
Richard, who I will talk about. Yes,
Richard Kane, but he plays with him as well. But he plays with the Revolutionaires. He plays with them all the time.
Meant.
He's a really good musician, and highly praised in the Northeast for how good he is. But yeah, I owe him a lot for my musical success, I suppose.
Very good.
But yeah, him.
And Scott?
Well, carrying on from what you said about family and that, I was actually first starting on guitar. My uncle gave us a guitar. He got us for Christmas, like one of those kit things where you get electric guitar and a little lamp.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
We've all got one of them.
I got an acoustic as well, and I just didn't play it for ages. And then just one day at high school, I thought I'm going to learn drums. And then that's when I learned it at school, mainly because of the teacher that was there, Richard Kane, who you've just mentioned. And he just helped develop stuff in high school and that, like mainly performance side of things, like performing live and stuff. And he was, I think we talked about the gig at the Millstone, one of the episodes. I can't remember. Anyway, we've got one coming up. But that was our first gig. I played there for him. Like he had a gig on, and we got up like at the start of his set and did a couple of songs. So that was my first performance because of him. But that's probably how I've just, like you say, music teachers.
Music teachers don't get enough credit.
Yeah,
we've all had music teachers, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it's probably a very similar story for everybody, that there was one teacher or at least one musical influence of perhaps a slightly educational background.
Yeah.
That came in and kind of really inspired you to pick up the instrument or continue with it or what have you. To be fair, I imagine every person who's ever picked up an instrument probably has a story very similar. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's usually that of family. My parents aren't musical, so I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But I think most people have. It's either a family member, like you have said, or a teacher. I think it's usually how it's.
I think with teachers as well. I think it's fair to say that, like, particularly in the music realm, like, well, let's be honest, right? When you're in school doing a music lesson, it's basically an hour of nothing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? For a lot of students. So if you are interested in music, you are gold dust for that teacher.
That is true.
Yeah, you're right.
So
if you're not sitting there pressing the demo button,
DJ.
or a keyboard DJ, then it's like we used to have a music room, and then we had a theatre.
Yeah.
And our music teacher would always let me and whoever I was with, because you always worked in pairs normally in music. It was usually me and a friend of mine called Kieran. We used to go in the theatre because it was like, you like doing this. Obviously, the rest of the class don't. They're just here because they've,
we had the same sort
obliged
of thing.
to. So it's like, you go off and use a proper piano, and they can all use like the keyboard. Yeah. So I had a grand piano every music lesson to play. So it was great. But a music teacher can spot you off.
Oh yeah,
a mile.
Yeah.
And go, right, I'm having you. You're doing school shows.
And then you end up in all the shows.
And then you end up doing everything.
The show productions. Like,
I wasn't complaining. Makes it better in the long run doing it. The more you do when you're younger.
Oh yeah.
It's like
it all helps for sure. I did a couple of shows. I didn't do that many, I don't think. I nearly played Joseph.
All right.
In Joseph.
I could see that, to be fair.
But I found, well, the story goes, I think we'll end on this because it's, the story goes that the drama teacher wanted me to audition for the play.
Mm-hmm.
The music teacher wanted me to be in the band.
Ah.
And it was
You could have been Joseph with a guitar on your neck.
That would have been cool.
I did ask. They weren't up for that. But I opted to be in the band instead. Because it was cooler than dressing up with abundance of colours on you. I don't know. Like, yeah, I couldn't think of the name of the thing. Yeah, but yeah. So and to be fair, we talked about this a few weeks ago actually about like acting and stuff, and like it's something that I always had an interest in, but music was always like the key focus. Like, and as much as I liked acting and stuff, it was never. I never pursued it. I
suppose that benefited you more in the long run, didn't it? Choosing the music side.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the only time I've been in a pit band, and it was hard. Actually, it was hard graft because, I mean, the pit band was made up of students and teachers, so it wasn't exactly.
It was the same for me as well at school as well.
Yeah, we did the same. It was not less when you were there. But our music. We always used to have the house band off to one side, and they would do all the stuff, but.
It was difficult though. It was difficult because
it was my first experience with sheet music as well.
That's what I was about to say. I was the only person who couldn't read.
I couldn't
read
read. I had
music.
to
I
learn.
can't read.
I had
Yeah.
to learn whilst I was learning these songs. I had to learn how to read drum sheet music and all sorts.
I don't know if it was the same for you, right? But were your music teachers? Mine's retired now, actually. But were your music teachers of the older generation and only knew music from reading music and Mozart? Like it was kind of like you read and it was
No.
right. My music teacher was. He didn't understand. I remember. This is like I feel really egotistical saying this, but I remember my first ever parents' evening in year 7. My mum went and went up to the music teacher. He's called Mr. Woods. His family have actually just released an album.
Oh, wait.
They've recorded it at Loft as well. Actually, I think there's maybe one original song, but it's mainly covers. I think the album is just called Woods. So that's kind of because all their family play and stuff. So anyway, Mum went up to the music teacher, Mr. Woods, sat down. She went, "Oh, Jack Milcrease," and he went, "All right." He found his file, put the file down, and went, "Genius." Right?
Really?
He said,
Get it.
He said, "I don't understand how that boy is that good on guitar and can't read a single note." Now, obviously, that's him saying that. I'm not saying that I'm any good, right? But that's what he said.
enough.
I don't want to come across like I'm, bragging. That's not what I'm about. But that's what he thought. And the reason I bring it up is because he was obviously of that old school generation where it was all Mozart sheet music. And I mean, I remember the music lessons that we did. He couldn't understand that. Like, I used to jam with this lad called Callum in the music room, and we'd play like Slipknot and stuff like that, right?
Nice.
And then there was a Slipknot song called Snuff, which was like an acoustic song, and I think we both did that for our piece that we got to do for the grade or whatever. And he couldn't understand how I was playing. Bear in mind, it's just a simple song. He couldn't understand that I remembered the chords without looking at them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He also asked, could I play lead and rhythm at the same time? I was like, no, I'm not. That's not how a guitar works. He was like, oh, I'll just ask. Like, I just didn't get it.
He obviously doesn't come from that background, yeah.
Unbelievable piano player, though. But obviously, he's of that generation where it was all like that kind of stuff.
I think my music teacher, it was the reason that we did it off sheet music for the show, because that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was probably a quicker way of teaching everyone their part rather than saying, oh, can you play this for that song? It was, and for cues and stuff as well, that's probably why I use sheet music. But it was just off Sibelius. I don't know if you know what Sibelius is. It was literally, you would just go on there, program it all, print it off, and that was it.
Yeah.
But he came from a background of just chords, lyrics, that's it.
Yeah.
That's how our music teacher did it. It was a sheet of A4 paper and a Bic biro. That was what you were getting. It's like, these are the chords. That's what you're playing. Keep in time.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
I kind of wish I had that. I think I relucted to join any kind of school music project because of that. My good friend Andrew Robert Shaw, who is a drummer, he's literally just set off playing on a cruise, going around like America. He was a couple of years older than me, and he did every single school show, but he could read. He could read music, and he was like, I mean, he was a godsend for the music teachers, because it was like, oh, Andrew will do it. He was a drummer, and he did everything, right? So, and I used to go watch and stuff, and it was always like choir and orchestra and maybe one girl singing with a backing track or anything. It wasn't until later on that they did it shows or anything, and that's when I think Joseph was the only one I actually did, other than me standing on stage with an acoustic and playing Tom Petty or something. Do you know what I mean? So I enjoyed it though. It definitely, like you say, experience and all that.
It sets you up, doesn't it? It's definitely a nice learning curve.
It was
Definitely.
good. It was good, and especially like. Honestly, it was a release because, like, I was the only one really definitely in my class who did anything music. I don't think there was many people in my year who ever carried it on, really. I think there was only like 10 of us in GCSE music. So it definitely, like, it was a release from, like, going to do your shitty math lesson and then go, like, you had math and then it was like, I mean, Sophie talks about how every single lunchtime she'd just go in the drum room and just play drums,
Straight at the music room at lunch or break time.
Yeah.
Whack on some drums, where I.
Yeah.
It was a good release because, as you say, you're doing the other subjects, which you assume is how you're going to get your career. Like, I did law at school because that's what I was going to do. And music was just like, well, it beats doing physics or chemistry or something. It's like, at least it's a lesson I'll enjoy. And then we all ended up doing it as a job, so it came useful in the end, really, didn't it?
It's interesting how it works, but it's funny hearing the parallels. We'll have to get when we get people on, we'll ask them the similar question, because
Yeah, definitely.
they probably have a story that's similar, you know.
Along with the Lime Tree Time Machine, of course.
Oh, yes.
Can't forget about that.
Absolutely. Right, thank you very much for listening. This has been the Lime Tree Sessions podcast with me, Jack Milcreast.
Then Phil Skirk.
Scott Charlton.
We'll see you hopefully next week if these lads want to do it by themselves.
We'll
if not,
see what happens.
We'll see you in a few weeks after I've got a tan in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I'll thank you. I don't know why. Oh, fuck, I fucked that last bit up, didn't I? Bye.
Ta-da!